if you made it this far into the video and you've neither got gas all over the place or burned the garage down, I'd say you're doing pretty good. If there's ever a time to put a fan on, so you can see over there, or have your safety glasses on, it's right now. Alright, it's time to take the fuel sending unit out. I'll show you guys what this looks like. So, as you start pulling out, you'll notice that it doesn't want to come out, of course. So, I'm going to finagle this thing a little bit. I believe at this point in time you can squeeze these two clips here. And basically disconnect the fuel level gosh, this thing does not want to come out. Alright, here we go. Then, what I do is I fish this thing out, kind of wiggle it around, see where it's at. Alright, so at this point in time, you got your flex tube here. So what you want to do is you want to get the flex tube out. Alright, because this sending unit that's about to come out is going to compete with the space for this opening here. So if I can see, if I can get this, I thought I was able to get this guy out first before all right. Okay. So here's the fuel sending unit. We got it out. Go ahead and lay it out. All right, guys. Now that the fuel pump is out, as you can see, I had to disconnect this here. So you can see how the two little plastic things kind of go in there. They snap in those two holes. So you kind of have to unsnap it, you kind of position it in such a way that this thing kind of comes out in line with this. The reason I was having such an issue is the way I modified the bucket that I was telling you guys about. I basically had to drill 4 holes. Well, first of all, the bucket actually comes with the end cap here. I had to slice the end cap off as close to the bottom as possible. Round off the edges, make sure everything looks good. Then I had to drill 4 holes and basically position the 350 pump right underneath the top of the bucket, so it kind of sits off to the side and is held in place by that, by the zip ties. And then the top, obviously, you have the line that goes through the top of the bucket and feeds to the top of the fuel pump. So to install it, you basically install the cap there. You thread this line through the top of the bucket. Then you have your fuel pump sitting out here. You put everything together, you insert the fuel pump, and then you zip tie it to here. I'm sure you can find a better way of holding the fuel pump inside the bucket. The biggest issue you're going to run into is the opening of the gas tank is almost exactly this size, so you can't put anything too thick on the outside, otherwise it's not going to go into the fuel tank. Zip ties held up fine. If you could find a way to get these nubs on the inside, it'll be much easier. When I was originally putting this together, I didn't think it was going to be that close to fitting, but it was. So anyway, I was still able to get it out of the fuel tank. The fuel tank is plastic, so it has a little bit of flex to it. Just pull these out, everything's fine. Alright, so this is the old sending unit. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect the top of the bucket here. There's these tabs, unclip it, and then I'm going to then disconnect this flex line, set up the dual fuel pumps, and then drop it back into the tank. Alright, so see you guys shortly. Another issue you guys may run into is disconnecting this plug here from your fuel pump. The best way and the easiest way I found to do this is you get one of these pick tools, and you're gonna go, there's a little access port here where the tab for the clip extends into. You're going to press that, and then you're going to scoop up while you pull on the side of this plug, and the plug will come out fairly easy. It's kind of hard to do this with one hand, but let me see if I can try it.
Let me just pause the video here for a second. At this point in time, I am literally holding the camera in my mouth to try to get this shot for you guys. I mean, can we acknowledge the effort here? I mean, that alone, the effort alone deserves a subscribe. If this doesn't get a subscribe, I don't know what else will. I mean, I thought I really outdid myself with this one. I mean, just take a look at how dirty my hands are. The same hands that were just holding the camera that I'm holding with my mouth. I mean, absolutely filthy. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
Alright, this is what I'm talking about. This is the little knob that you press. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. It's the little knob you press. Welcome back. We are making some progress, but also run into a few issues. So the first issue I'm running into with this dual pump setup is when I go to install it into the fuel tank. Let me show you guys here. You can see that this side goes in, but this side is not making it in. I mean, it is missing it just barely. I'm gonna go ahead and take maybe a 1/4 inch off of this side and a 1/4 inch off of this side from this bracket, which will then give us the clearance needed. There's a lot of material there, so I don't think it's necessary. The fuel pump shouldn't be going anywhere. The second issue that we are running into is, if you look at, so this is the wire, these two are going to be connecting to the fuel pump here, all right, and then they connect to the top of the fuel sending unit. But if you look, you have the positive for both, and then of course you have the ground. But when you look here, you have the positive, if you can see that on camera, you have the positive to the top right, you have the negative to the top left, and then the bottom two, the bottom right is blue, the bottom left is gray, and that's for the fuel level lever. Here you have the top right is red, bottom left is blue. I'm assuming that this is because the amount of power this thing is going to draw. They have these much thicker wires, and I'm assuming that the way this is wired to the way it translates to the output on this plug here will then correspond with what the wiring harness is looking for as far as power and switching these fuel pumps on and off. So the thought process is, unfortunately, I'm going to have to eliminate the fuel level lever. I know roughly how many miles a gallon I get and how far I can go, how many miles I can go without filling up. So I'll have to rely on that, which I was anyways, because I think my fuel level gauge was kind of starting to go anyway. And then the other part is this ground. I'm thinking I'm just going to go ahead and ground it to this plate, which the current grounds go here and are mounted to this plate, and then of course this plate here is also mounted to the top of this plate, so it's the same thing. Anyway, minor bump in the road. Let's go ahead and take care of this and start mounting these things in. Alright guys, and I'm back. So as you can see here, I removed the wiring from the fuel sending unit. You got these two clips that kind of slide on and off of these little metal nubs here. The plug itself has a little gray secure clip to remove. I don't know if you have to actually remove that or not. You may not have to, but to get the actual black clip off, you just move this metal tab off to the side and pull it off. So as for the fuel sending, or for the fuel pumps, as you can see here, I took off about 1/4 inch off of each side. It fits in there just perfect. Make sure when you guys are doing this, you do not damage the fuel pumps. Don't spend too much time grinding here. What I did was I basically cut both sides, cut a little tracer line here and here, and then used just basically the tab that was hanging off. I kept on wiggling it till it broke off. You don't want to spend too much time grinding here, since heat does build up and you will end up starting to melt the bottom of the fuel pump down here. So you could also drill out the rivets, take this top off, and then just have it alone and cut it up. I didn't feel like doing that. Thought that was a little too much work. Anyway, so right now what I'm going to do is, before I put this into the tank, I'm going to go ahead and wash this, all these parts off with some gasoline to make sure that whatever's going into the tank isn't dirty. Put everything together. I'll take a quick video of what the final product looks like for you guys before it actually goes into the tank, and then I'll go ahead and get a video of it going into the tank so you guys can see what that looks like. All right, want to give you guys a quick update on what I have going on here. So here's what the current setup looks like. Minor issue that I ran into, which I don't have the hose here, but anyway, we'll use this as an example. The factory fuel line that goes from the hat of the sending unit through and hooks up to the fuel pump is 5/16, and it's this plastic non-kinking hose. So the beautiful part about this is it goes on fairly tight onto this. It does not kink. However, when I went to hook it up to this end here, it did not work. This is roughly 11 or 12 millimeters outer diameter, just at the tip of these edges. So obviously it's a little bit smaller when it seats on there, but nevertheless I was not able to get the plastic to fit on this side. Of course, it fit on this side. I routed it, couldn't get it to fit on this side. So small problem, but we don't have problems at Garage Grunt. We solve them. Here's what the answer to that is. Basically, it is a submersible fuel line. Make sure that you guys order one of these ahead of time if you do plan on installing this. You will not get the plastic one to fit. Either this one that comes with the kit or the black one. They're the same size. They're 5/16. What I end up having to get is a 3/8 hose, and what you need to make sure that the hose is that it's SAE 30R10 rated. What that means, it's submersible. So if you go to AutoZone or O'Reilly's or Advanced Auto, you'll find 30R7 or 30R14T2. Either way, none of those are submersible. They're able to handle fuel on the inside, but not on the outside. Keep in mind, this will be submerged into your fuel tank, so you do not want this to come apart, you know, a couple weeks down the road. So what I plan on doing with this is I'm going to use this piece, route it from here. I'll try going through this part here. Where's the hole? Here somewhere. Like so. Down through there. Can't see anything. Anyway, go through there and then go into here. Alternatively, if that doesn't work, because this is only sold in 1 foot sections, I may just go straight to the pump, and then I'll still leave this on there as one of the lines. This guy here is actually your return line. So if you follow it out to here, it's actually this guy here. So you can't just eliminate this, nor do I really want to alter it too much, since this whole setup is fairly expensive if I need to replace it. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and hook this up, and I'll show you guys how it looks and how it's going to go into the tank. Alright guys, just want to give you a quick update on what this thing looks like put together. As you can see here, I have the hose that I bought that's submersible, routed through the hole here of this hat, and it is holding on to the top fitting for both of these fuel pumps. Very tight fit here. The hose going onto the fitting. 5/16 definitely would not have fit there. The 3/8 barely fit on there. On the contrary, the 5/8, I'm sorry, 3/8, not 5/8, 3/8. Here it's a little bit loose, so I did have to tighten it down, pretty good. You guys want to make sure that when you're tightening this down, if you're using this style clamps, that once you tighten it down, make sure that you're not shaving too much off of the hose. As you can see here, I started to get some shaving and I immediately stopped. But so far so good. Looks like there are no kinks in it. Alright, good radius. One thing I don't like is how loose this is. However, it does look like the fuel pumps do integrate good in there. Doesn't look like there's anything falling out or any of that stuff. So, because we'll find out once we hook it up if it's working or not. Next step is to install this thing into the car. Plan is to put the stock filters on and then immediately put it in. I'll probably wipe this thing down one more time before I install it. So, see you guys shortly. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. As you can see behind me, we have the fuel pump in, tightened down. Don't forget to not tighten this screw down all the way. You're gonna have to put the ground wire for the wiring harness for the fuel pump attached to it. So just snug it down, don't tighten it. Actually, don't tighten all of these. They don't need to be super tight, just make sure that they're snug. Anyway, what I planned on doing was, while I got the gas drained out of the tank and out of the lines, I figured, well, why not go ahead and do the fuel filter. I just looked under there. The return line, or I don't really know what it is. Anyway, this guy here doesn't have this quick disconnect. It just basically looks like this with the line going into it. So I believe that it is the same connection that's underneath the hood that requires one of these guys, where you basically just put it on the line, you push it, and then kind of twist around till it unlocks and you pull the filter off. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. While I'm at it, if you're doing this and you're this far in, might as well. The filter's only like 20 bucks. And I'll explain to you guys a little bit later why I'm doing this. The car actually had some bogging issues and some starting issues. I think it's due to fuel pressure, not 100% sure. Anyway, worth the $20 as a preventative maintenance, now that I'm running the 85 anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'll record anything out of the ordinary for you guys if I run into an issue.